morning. Welcome to Fallawsophy. I'm your host, Jennifer Fallaw, and today we have a little bit of an RV update for those who are here for that. Okay, let's see. A little bit of Gentile. Right now, let's see, I believe it was yesterday. We were hoping for the last country to pop up on the back screen of the Forex that they used for the exchange centers tomorrow. I asked about that. And I have spoken to some people to get an update on that. Now, the chatter is good that's coming in from behind the scenes. Some groups are going. Some private deals are stalled. Some are moving. I wouldn't say that nothing's happening if you hear about one private deal that is stalled, or one group that is stalled, or one thing that is stalled. I do think we probably had a little bit of a delay there. I'm focused on this Forex screen. If you think about it, if all these people with SKRs and money in accounts that they can see that they can't access, it probably has a lot to do with rates. You know, you cannot give somebody that amount of money for something that is not worth that yet. Now, antiquities and other things, that's different. That's a different story. So we don't need a public rate for like groups and things that have agreed upon rates in a certain range, estimated range to go, but we probably do need some kind of behind the scenes revalue so that those rates that are agreed upon are justified and they can pay that out. So I'm more focused rather than individual deals. I'm more focused on this back screen of the Forex. And I think that's why the information was coming into me and shown to me that there were most on there, but not all. Wednesday, we got an update on that there was still one that needed to post. You know, I could be, what do I know? But, you know, I've got a good track record, so let's just keep going with it. No need to quit now. There is still a very good chance that that could pop up tomorrow, as of this moment in time, and if nothing bad happens. Okay? So the ball is rolling. No one really knows how long this process is going to take until we get notifications. We also logically have to think about manpower in treasuries to handle the workload. 4B is going to be a huge undertaking. So we have to finish up the other tiers to a point so that those employees are ready and available to handle that. And that's just logical. We don't know how long this process is going to take to roll out to get to us. Best possibility, when I was asking this morning, psychically. Now, I hear from other people too. I hear rumors. There's a rumor mill. But when I was asking psychically, we could get notified as soon as tomorrow, Friday, the 5th. And as of this moment in time, as late as the 12th. But it's still moving. So, to ask anybody for the exact answer of a specific date right now, nobody knows. Everybody has their opinion, but nobody knows. But it's still happening. I mean, unless like the world blows up or something. I don't know, Gabriel, can we stop it now? No. That was a big no. It's coming. All right? We all made it this far. I don't need to give you the same lecture, but I'm pretty sure you'll probably survive till we get notifications. Okay? Now, some of your gurus, your talking heads on the RV podcasts that you watch, you know, it's all theory, people. It's, well, you know, we hear things, but you never know how much is opinion and how much is fact. And who's got what clearance to know what. Okay? So we do our best to keep you going. And we will all get there. Things that I hear through the rumor mill are very exciting. So you've been led down this path for a reason. You would not have been led. You're an intelligent person. We're all rational, intelligent people here. Most of you are over 40. You know, this isn't something somebody made up in the basement and then just, you know, the information in the rumor mill is very good. Some very official. It's a real thing. There's no point in walking this path for this long to throw in the towel now. I give up. I mean, where are you going to go anyway? I've always told you, business as usual till it's not. Do whatever you got to do to keep going. This life, this reality, basically all you really have to do is survive it. So do what you got to do that. Most people out there don't have the hope that we do. They don't have any hope for something like this. You've been led here for a reason, and we will make it to the finish line. Okay? So, behind the scenes with people who talk, it's minute by minute, day by day. Really exciting news comes in, and then it's like, well, maybe tomorrow. But you don't get really exciting news coming in, or maybe tomorrow. If somebody somewhere doesn't have contracts and paperwork and things in account, you don't get numbers and accounts for a fictional thing. Okay, it's coming. Very big undertaking worldwide, and you're dealing with governments, you're dealing with treasuries, you're dealing with individual people. Everybody's got to do their job. Somebody slacks off and it delays it again. But as of now, process is moving. It is rolling. And we will keep our ears open and send you any new information as we get it. Okay. As of this morning, one of the contacts had really, really exciting information. One was stalled, but that one that was stalled is a very personal deal, or many deals. Okay. So we wait. I didn't get to see Trump's. No, he didn't have a speech. He has one today, like right now, doesn't he? Let's see what he says and what columns are in that. Um, Hang in there. We're doing this thing. One way or another, we're doing it. I don't know what to teach today. Let's see. I was like, this week, okay, let's talk about the energies real quick. I don't really know why, but I've heard it from a lot of people this week and like mid-week until now of last week. The energies have just been crazy, up and down, and we go through these cycles once in a while, and the energy is just harsh, and following and reporting on the operation to save the world for all these years, when we get to really tense moments where there's a lot of battles going on behind the scenes, I've noticed that it affects the collective consciousness because of just like a thunderstorm with the warm air and the cold air clashing. Okay, you get lightning and thunder. That also happens energetically. I know what I'm going to teach. Now I know what I'm going to teach. I've got so many notes, my thoughts over coffee. But the reason why I didn't know what I was going to teach is because I would get all this inspiration and notes and I'd look back on it and I'm like, I don't want to talk about that. So, now I want to teach everything. So let me see here. The energies lately, if you've been feeling off, if you've had emotional outbursts or, just all up and down, when that happens, we're affected by the collective energy, the collective reality, okay? And you won't even know why your personal life may have no reason for it. And you're like, God, was it hormones? I mean, do I have some kind of deficiency? I mean, what's going on? Like me, I have no reason to feel anxious at times. But I've been like, had moments where I just felt anxious. And I'm like, I don't have any reason for that. Where the hell's that coming? Just blocking everybody's energy? Is it the kids? Who is it? Who is it? Being an empath, pick up on that. But sometimes it's the collective energy. Sometimes we go through these phases where it's like the energies are just so it asks you to, okay, are you done with this? Old things pop up in your mind. Are you really done with this now? Let's release this energy. Okay. So that happens, and we're in one of those times. I mean, it's probably, the weather can have a lot to do with it, phases of the moon, full moons, all kinds of things. So, but sometimes I've seen it enough times over the years that it could have something to do with what's going on in the world right now. Dark and light colliding, fighting for the gold, fighting for the win. And we'll all pick that up and have no idea why. So sometimes people who aren't aware of energies, who aren't trying to do anything, self-improve or, work through things like this, they can be difficult to deal with. Family members, people that you interact with. But if we're moving towards being highly evolved and, grown-ups spiritually, that involves being grown up emotionally and mentally, the whole package. Sometimes people, and especially in energetic times that are difficult, can drag you back down. That's when we lead by example, okay? And we lean on God, give it to God. You start spiraling, you say, up, God, come into my life and intervene on my behalf. This is bothering me. I have no solution to this. I need you. And then you just watch. Now, God's not going to go, God never goes out and attacks people for you, or the angels, or anybody like that. Why? Because everybody's a piece of God. And just because you don't like them, or maybe things aren't going your way, doesn't mean that God doesn't, okay? They're not like, they don't go avenge you. Karma avenges you. People's own behaviors will come back around, especially if it's projected at something high vibrational that turns into a mirror. It's all about vibration, people. That'll come back around and hit them, and they'll blame you. You're casting spells on me. You're doing something to me. No, dude, you must have had some pretty bad intentions if you think it's coming from me. And projecting that towards me, and your karma's hitting you. I didn't do anything to you. I trust in God, doing my own thing. And I give it, vengeance is God's, not yours. But vengeance is carried out through karma. Because we create our own reality. Because we are creators. So if somebody else is projecting negative in your direction, and you refuse to play, if you play ball with them and you project negative in their direction, karma is canceled out. It's even. But if they're projecting at you and you are like, no, I'm going to stay here in my love and light bubble, and I'm trusting in God, and I'm following my guidance, and I'm going to resist temptation to think these terrible thoughts and ask, hope for their downfall and all that. We don't do that. That's not your place. We just hand it to God. Give it to Jesus. Jesus, take the wheel. And we let him handle it. A lot of times it's karma running its course. Okay? But when dealing with difficult people in your life, let's remember how far we've come and do that. Okay? It really is the concept. I've been learning a lot. I don't know, for like 50 years. And people, I hear us too often. When is this person going to get their karma? When are they going to, why are they so happy and okay? And I'm not. Why are they're always attacking me and nothing ever happens to them. Well, you don't know what's happening to them. You're never going to know. But if you are attacking them as much as they are attacking you, if even in your mind, your dark thoughts, like, I hope that you, I hope you have a tower moment, and I hope that you get hurt, and I hope whoever leaves you, or this fails, or you're hoping for their failure, just like they're hoping for yours, it's going to cancel out. Because you're participating in it. That's what Jesus meant by resisting temptation. It's not all about, pleasures of the flesh, or, food, or alcohol, or whatever. It's resisting temptation to act or think in low vibrational ways, to play ball with the enemy. And they'll try to pull you back down with them. They will. You're highly annoying to them because you won't do that, because you won't play ball with them. Oh, fight with me, fight with me, fight with me. No. And that's the best thing you can do. Then, if you're vibrating high and you choose not to get pulled down into low vibrational cycles, behaviors, thoughts. You're human. You're going to have a couple thoughts, okay? You're going to be like, but we pull back. Oh, no, I'm not going to think that way. That's how you do it. You ask for your protection. Stay centered with God. Help me be love, God. Help me just continue on. Stop these attacks on me. Protect me in my bubble of your love and your light. Then your vibration continues to rise and you become a mirror. And what happens is if somebody continues to project that energy towards you, it'll hit your mirror and it'll spiral back. And then we don't think about where it's going when it spirals back. We're not like, oh yeah, you're going to hit my mirror and it's going to come back to you. And I can't wait for that. No. That's pulling you back down into fighting with them. And that's what they want. Okay. You just do your thing. Just stay centered with God. Do your best. We're not all perfect. We got all kinds of faults. Me too. I got all kinds of faults. But I try. Being high vibrational is not being perfect. Perfect? Define perfect, first of all. Being high vibrational is resisting temptation, is doing all the things Jesus asked us to do, or told us to do, to live a better life, basically. It wasn't to get into heaven. It was to survive here and have a better time doing it. So the more we resist getting pulled into low vibrational energy and fighting with them or acting that way, the higher your vibration will be, the more personal work we do mentally, spiritually, to release the negative energy, the traumas, and work through them and get them out of our energy field, the more room there is for high vibrational light and love. And when you're vibrating like that and you put your trust in God and you keep moving forward, and it's like, well, God, things are a little bit sketchy right now, but you have always carried me through everything. Everything has always turned out okay. One way or another, I'm still here. I'm breathing. We're eating. We've got the roof over the head. I mean, everything's fine. Okay, thank you very much. And live in gratitude and love and just keep going. And all these people with their opinions and their mind, I don't like you, and all this negative energy. So it's like little annoying mosquitoes around you. And you've got God's, bug spray on you. Okay? This mirror, it projects it back, probably to the sender. Okay? We're not going to think about that, but it does. I think it does. And then they'll turn around and question, oh my God, are they like a witch or something? Are they casting spells on me? I mean, are they, are they causing all this turmoil in my life? And all I know is that you're doing it to yourself. You're doing it to yourself. I chose to rise. I chose to embrace love, goodness, truth, move forward in a positive direction. And for some reason, you had a problem with that and want to keep projecting at me. You're doing it to yourself. Okay? So, understanding this about energy is important, and it's a good reminder in times like this when the energies, the collective energy is turbulent, and you could feel fragile at times or weak at times. We just this is what I do. I've been talking to God in my head my whole life. God, what do we do about this? God, please help me. God, help me do this. Help me figure this out. Help me move forward. Kind of like constant prayer. Not weird or anything, but faithful. When we trust in God and trust in ourselves and that we've been led in this direction for a reason. And we've gone through all of these things for a reason. I just got something. Hang on. Then we know that that will continue to happen. That he will provide for you. He will keep you going. Ask for everything you need. Okay? But don't get pulled back down into low vibrational activities and cycles and things like that. Because it's not progress. You've already learned all those lessons. Why continue to fight with people that you're done with? Because they didn't do the work. You did. Let's see what somebody sent me. Hang on. Interruption. Where the hell did you send it? Okay. Ooh, what the heck is that? Is that the stock market? Scott. Oh, damn it. I know 3 Scotts, so you guys don't know who I'm talking about. Oh my goodness, that's good news coming in on the RV, on these private deals and stuff, okay? Good news. Just trust me. Now, something just skyrocketed, and I don't know what I'm looking at. Anyone? Why is my chat not moving? Dow Jones. 51,481. Dow Jones. Skyrocketed because Trump said the war could end this weekend. That's good. Okay, chat's moving now. I was just going to be like, am I not live? That's going to piss me off. Don't fall down into the... All right. It's up 798. You know, aside from what I was talking about, just for a minute, we'll get back to, I always thought, all right, Trump's going live at noon, so that's probably something you want to watch today. All right, thank you. People asked me for a long time, is the stock market going to crash completely and like we're going to lose everything and everything? I never saw that. I just saw it coming down really, really low and getting really scary there for a minute. And it has done that several times over the years, but I never saw. Trump always said that your 401ks were safe and and all of that was safe, and I think that he continues to do things to bring it back up. So I'm not really concerned terribly about that. Now, when we get to Tier 5, see, Forby's a private event. It's probably going to go on behind the scenes. I think that's why they have the rates popping up on a Forex screen that we can't see as the public. Because if that's what's going to screw things up if Vietnam went alone, because they were going to go publicly. And that was going to draw a lot of attention to the RV. And that was going to mess up the whole thing, okay? All this behind-the-scenes work that needs to be done to pull in the instruments of debt and to get to a place where we can go to gold, where everybody can go to gold, okay? That was going to be a madhouse if that happened. And so that's why Trump kept doing things to get to hold Vietnam off, okay? Recently in the Gentel, we got proceed as planned, so I think that we're back to the shotgun start that will be, okay, shotgun start. Got too much going on in my mind. So the shotgun start, I believe. So I think we're going to get rates backscreen Forex for the exchange centers. Okay. Probably from bank on down. I don't know if it's going to be bank rates. Bank might use public screen. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. But so if we get all the rates that we need, that's what the other tiers are waiting on to fund because they've got promised rates. All the work's been done. They just need to fund it. Okay. But you need something legitimate and a value that's legitimate to deliver. Okay. So the shotgun start is probably the rates on this back screen where everything, all those accounts, that everything's been prepared in the other tiers, the groups, all that stuff that have special deals and contracts and all these different rates, they fund because now we can pay you this because we have a legitimate rate somewhere on a back screen to justify that, right? No longer imaginary. So the shotgun start might be all the groups and everybody getting paid at once. And if that is true, then we could expect notifications as soon as they have the manpower to handle 4B, or at least to schedule our appointments around the same time. So the information I got about the earliest possible date, because they're expecting that this other country should pop up as early as tomorrow, okay, on this back screen that I'm seeing. I don't know what else to call it. You know, you get what you get. And if that happens, we could get notification as soon as they're ready to handle the workload. So I got anywhere between the 5th and the 12th for notifications for 4B. So when we get 4B done, private event behind the scenes, we get all the events done. We're all set up. Money's all over the place. Lots of instruments of debt pulled in. Then we just have the public. Okay. Now, if the public, that's why. So if the United States revalues at the same time as everyone else, we were always concerned about that because we're not going to make any money if the United States revalues at the same time. But if we get to tier 5 and they do, there won't be any crashes, okay? I mean, I always saw like within a 24, 40-hour period, all these countries revaluing, boom, 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 and the United States was last, okay? We may have a period of time where things are falling and crashing and it's a panic, and that will justify, yes, 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 Donald Trump, go to gold. Help us, save us all. Okay. We'll just do that. Boom, go to gold. We have the currency and everything already, and just happen to have it ready. That's probably what's going to happen. I'd say any crashes, any panic, anything like that. Now, if that period of time, I mean, you really can't let that happen for more than 24, 48 hours. People are going to panic. They're going to rush the banks. It's going to be a problem. If their money isn't worth anything when all the other countries revalue and the United States is not, that would be our panic mode. That's when we could see EBS or something like that, just to notify the public. But I think any period of time like that is going to be really short and solved publicly very quickly. That's going to be probably tier 5 when all of the rates pop up publicly. Okay? All right. So I got pulled out of what I was talking about. All right, back to dealing with, and I got to have time to do readings. Let me sum this up really quick. Dealing with difficult people. It's not that I know everything. It's that I asked Jesus and God and angels like what to teach, and I'm putting this God-centered conscious creation program together. And so along the way, I'm learning lessons. I was going to have to do it first. I'm going to have to test this whole thing out. You can't go out there and teach the public something. Say, hey, why don't you try this and not do it yourself? So, right now, the guidance is turn the other cheek, stay in your mirrored bubble and centered with God. Through turmoil, through everything, do whatever you got to do to protect yourself. Handle your business. But do not allow fear, basically fear. Fear is you either got love or you got fear. Two polar opposites. To pull you back down into a place where you give up or you fall victim, lower your vibration, get off track. Not at this point in time. Stay centered. There's a reason Jesus taught in parables. It's because, well, it's just genius, because that's how the divine teaches. They teach through lessons. They teach in a way by telling stories. Why? Because people can relate to stories. They'll relate it to their own life. And it sinks in. Okay? When you're listening to a story, you drop your defenses and you just listen. And then along the way, it speaks to you and you get that divine guidance about your own life, and then you choose to apply it or not. And people will remember stories. You remember the books that you read, you remember the movies that you watch, the series that you watch. I've always taught that way or learned that way too. And that's why I'm always telling stories. People get upset with me because they're like, just get to the facts, ma'am. Just the facts. That's all you want to hear. And I'm like, well, you're in the wrong room, dude, because I'm going to get through to you one way or another. One way or another. And if you're not open to that, then you're in the wrong room. Stories keep you thinking. The best way to guide somebody, to assist somebody in their life, and the best way is to help them come to their own positive conclusions. It's not to do everything the way that you did it, because that's your journey in your life. But maybe telling them the way you did it will help them, lead them to their own conclusions on how they could handle something in their life. And if we stay God-centered with it, then it's all divine. Okay? One last thing before we do readings. You can start with your rumble rants. I'm just going to tell you one thing. Family. Very close friends. People are very closely involved in your life. Okay? I learned this lesson as a small child. When I was a little girl, we lived in a place in San Diego where everybody had like 2 to 5 acres. People had horses, chickens. I mean, we had chickens, horses, turkeys, ducks, all kinds of birds. And, all kinds of animals, rabbits. I was outside all the time. I started with a pony that was like a golden retriever, this pony. I used to fall asleep on his back in the backyard when he was grazing. It's just the sweetest thing ever. Then my mom gets me a horse. Beautiful tricolored paint quarter horse. He Just big patches of white and brown and black and white tail, looked like an Indian horse. I thought it was totally cool. Well, he was a proud cut ex barrel racer horse that was boarded for a long time and had like an attitude. And I'm supposed to ride this thing at like 10 years old. We came to an understanding. I learned that sometimes you may have people in your life that are not all bad, and that it's okay to love them, but understand their limitations or understand that what sets them off. This horse and I was scared of him at first, and you can't let a horse know you're scared of him. But I was trying really hard not to let him know. But like if when I'd go and clean the corral, he'd pin his ears back and bully me, come up and act like he's gonna bite me. And I'm little and he's big, and I was just like, and he did. He scared me. And we'd go riding, and I'd go riding with my friends. And if he decided that it was time to go home, he'd just turn around, stop, go home, take off all the way there. I remember one day he decided it was time to go home because he was done and he wanted to eat. It was getting close to feeding time. Took off, ran a half mile all the way up the middle of the pavement. He didn't have any shoes on. And I'm like, oh, this is bad. I'm going to get in serious trouble for this. And ran all the way to our house down 300-yard dirt road through the front yard, through the backyard, and we've got like these 4x4 posts on the gate that he's just gonna fit through because he was kind of fat. It was just after winter or spring. Anyway, I can't remember when they fatten up. So it wasn't summer. So full blast. I'm laying down on his back, pulling on his reins. There was just no way I was going to stop him. No way I was going to stop him. And he's going 100 miles an hour towards this gate. Wouldn't listen to me. Causing chaos in my life. Now relate this to someone you know, okay? Causing chaos in my life. Not listening to me. That's not in the plan. Bullying me. Taking over. And I see these 4x4 posts coming. And if it hits my knees, it's going to break my legs or my hips or something. Okay? So I had to push myself off, fall on the ground. And that's when it hit me. That's when I had it, man. And I told you, when I've had it, I've had it. Okay? I put up with the bullying from this horse. I had enough. Little kid, and he's snorting and running around like I do what I want and stuff. And I just went up to that, just grabbed a switch off the tree, a branch. I was so mad. I went into that corral and I came up, I just walking up to him with this switch. And all of a sudden I saw his face go from to, and then he just, I just started chasing him around with this thing, and I got up to him and he finally just stopped and bowed down, and I pulled the bridle off of his head. From that day on, we had an understanding. He no longer tried to bite me. He no longer tried to, well, he listened. And I didn't have a snaffle bit or anything on him. It was just it was a pretty, because I don't want to hurt him, It was funny. He was still a spaz. I mean, we won every race, but he was going to flip out after that and we would be on our way home. But I remember after that, all my friends had mares and I had a gelding. Well, he was half proud cut. They cut half of it off. But after that, we had an understanding. I respected his boundaries after that. To put the bridle on, I would go up to the corral and wait for him to come to me. I would reward him with a treat if he let me put it on. I'd put it on over the fence and then I'd open the gate. He didn't like anybody coming into his space. He didn't like anybody infringing on his space. I don't know why. But he'd still take off, and there were still times when we'd be running 100 miles an hour and he'd decide just to turn left for no reason and I'd fall off. Other people's horses did that, and they would take off, and we'd have to go running through the hills trying to find their horses. Paint was his name. He never left me. Every time I fell off after that, he stood there, snorted at me, and waited. He would not leave me. We came to an understanding. So sometimes when there's someone in your life and you take it and you take it and you take the bullying and they think they can walk all over you, they will, as long as you let them. And you think, well, they're bigger than me and they're stronger than me and they're scary. And I learned as a little girl, didn't matter how big I was little. Was that stupid? Probably. He probably could have got me, but he didn't. And then we had an understanding and a love, and we learned to get along. He respected me, and I respected him. Sometimes there's going to be people in your life, they're always going to act up at one point or another. But I grew to know that this horse was lovable. There were times when he was so sweet, but he had been through some things before he came to me, and I didn't know what those were. But I realized what his limitations were, and he respected me basically for putting him in his place. So I showed him love, and he changed over time. And we got to a place where he was my best friend. He never left me. I'd let him run around the yard and freely, and he'd just come up to me and walk around with me, and he got to a place where I could just fall asleep on his back in the backyard, just like the pony. So don't judge people too harshly and think they're evil completely or there's no hope. And people have been through some things and they act a certain way for a certain reason. When we see the world and people through the eyes of love, you will understand your people. Because you will, yes, stand up for yourself. Sometimes that has to happen. But you will understand that that is a loving soul in there, and they've just been abused. And they're just acting out this way so that they aren't abused again. And once he found out that I wasn't going to abuse him, he was my best friend ever. Okay? So the lesson today is to, even in the hard times, see through the eyes of love, understand why people do what they do. Yeah, there are some bad people out there that are just never going to change. But they weren't always that way. Everybody's been through their own stuff, and they do things for their own reasons. But see them through the eyes of love, act accordingly, and maybe you'll come to a place where you respect each other. The problem most of the time is that people don't communicate. They don't stand up for themselves. And the person, just like that horse, will learn that, yes, this is the correct way to behave so that I don't get hurt anymore. My horse learned that you don't have to be like that with everyone. Not everyone is a threat. Okay? Jesus told me long ago to see through the eyes of love. And I didn't. I mean, I've always kind of understood that since I was a little girl. I understood through that horse and that experience. And, I thought, oh, evil horse, bad guy. Maybe there's something wrong with him. Maybe he's got brain damage. I don't know. No, they were trained a certain way to be a spaz and to be a barrel racer and abused and all this other stuff. But he spent the rest of his days with me and was loved, and he changed dramatically. Okay? All right. No exercise today other than to see through the eyes of love, but always, even angels don't hurt, they don't harm, because they see you as a piece of God, but they will protect you from those who want to hurt or harm another piece of God. But they always understand why everyone is doing what they do, and they do act and see through the eyes of love. Let's get to those questions. All right, I've got 15 minutes till I have to start reading, so let's stop with the Rumble rants. I'm sorry, I thought I would have more time today. I talk too much. I do. I talk too much. Hi, Jane. Hi, Jen. My name is Christine, and I would love to know if I'll be a B or a T. T. Nice. LEC is... Can't see. Is Ian B going to ask me to be his girlfriend? I felt a really young vibe there, so I'm hoping you're over 18. Yes, but he's afraid. Hi, wonderful Jen. D here. My friend Angela Cornelius passed suddenly in January. I'm so sorry. Does she have a message for me? We never had our final chat. Angela. She's been trying to get through to you. You've seen her in dreams, she says. She says you see her, but you don't hear her. She loves you very much. She's going to keep trying. Hi, Jen. Lisa here. Is there a message from my Aunt Ruby King? Ruby King, come on down. She's having an amazing time. She's surrounded by a lot of people. It's quicker just for me to, like, this window opens up and like, they're like, what? I'm going to them. She wishes you could see it all over there. She's having a great time. You're loved and missed. More people than you know. Holly Kennedy, how do you see my RV going? That's going to take some time. Great. It's easy. Christine again, I'd love to ask you another question. Will I be purchasing the properties on North Country Road and Rocky Brook Way? Rocky Brook Way. North Country Road is going to depend on how quickly we get this done. Debbie Hannon, this is Debbie Hannon Brown. Thank you for being our angel on earth. Oh, you're welcome. When will we get the house? At 1008 Aurelia Drive, Pensacola Beach. As of now, it looks like beginning of August. Julia's here. When do you see me meeting a true love? September. Debbie P here. Do you see me moving before or after I receive my RV or treasury funds? Thanks so much. After. I just heard after. Oh, thank you, Tom. Love you too. Thank you, guys. Kind of a different show today. I do a couple monthly supporters. Right now, you have the opportunity to become a monthly supporter of mine. That would be really cool, and I'd appreciate it a lot. It's $5 a month. It's not a big deal. Just go ahead and subscribe to that. Forget about it for a while. Like I do when I subscribe to things. I'll subscribe. I have subscribed to all kinds of stuff, and I forget. Like 2 years, it's paying $5. We won't need it very soon, but as of now, that would be great. And while I'm live, you can subscribe for $5 a month, and I appreciate that. That's a very nice tip. Thank you. Right now, I'm reading from the monthly supporters. Sally Termites 345. Should I quit taking my cholesterol meds? I know they are not good for me. My name is Robin Joe. I can't tell you to stop taking any kind of medication. It is always best to follow doctor's orders. The work that I do is for you to take to the doctor so that they can help you. Medical intuitive readings and things like that. That's not something that I can tell you to do. Hello, Jen. Paula Thompson here. Would you see if my guide, Anthony, has any message for me? Thanks. We're going to want specific questions in this setting, please. Anthony, is there anything? Almost there, Paula. Okay. Diana L. Went to the heart doctor yesterday. Said my EKG is like when I went to the hospital for my heart attack last August. Is that true? Thank you so much. Let's take a look here. Pretty close. I'm really getting a lot of stress from you. And you're not staying hydrated the way you should. You need to stay hydrated, okay? Really, just for you, I've told you this before. Lots of water, and you need to de-stress. It is what it is. Okay? Just be. Take it one day at a time. Okay, you're awesome. Gina P here. When will I move to Florida? Best case scenario of that, quickest, it's actually like September. All right, I got 8 minutes and then I got to get to clients for the day. Thank you all for being with me. I just think we just got to watch this part of it play out. I feel like the notifications are just going to pop up out of nowhere. I mean, I do. And if it happens on Wednesday, that's good with me. But any day, I'm fine with it. Jesus telling me not to act on impulse. He says the energies right now are very impulsive, is what he's saying. The collective energy right now. Probably gonna change about Sunday, he's saying. So don't act on impulse. Think things through. He said if you stay centered in love and in truth, protecting yourself is love for self. Okay? If you stay centered in that, you can't go wrong with your decisions, with your path, with your vibration. The higher the vibration, the faster you're going to heal. So with your health, okay? So that's a message from Jesus right now for everybody for the rest of the week. There's no impending doom or anything. It's just that the energies are turbulent and yep, that's it. That's all I got. All right? Okay. If I don't, I will be in Telegram. Oh, if you'd like to purchase a reading from me, you can go to... Yeah, I'm not ready for you. Somebody's calling me. It's not your turn. Fallawsophy.com. You can purchase and schedule yourself. And we can talk about your personal situation. If you'd like to get a healing from me, or reach Susan Gretz or Marcy Howell, you can go to jenniferfallaw.com. Okay? And I will be over the weekend, and when I'm not doing shows, I am at Fallawsophy on Telegram. That is where I post the Gentel. That's where I post anything I get, anything I think is relevant to our situation, anything I can share. You're going to want to join that on Telegram. That's bothering me. Okay, thank you, everyone. Have a lovely day. Love you all.